I'm DaniSurname and I once thought I had cancer. I found a small lump in my downstairs area when I was in the shower and immediately jumped to the conclusion that it was obviously cancer. I was petrified. I had totally convinced myself in the space of about an hour that I was going to die of cancer from this tiny little lump that I'd found. I was going to my girlfriend's that day and I told her, and I lay on her bed and cried for about 2 hours. I promised that I would go and see a doctor and I had plans to go and see one, and then after a week it was gone. Fast forward a couple of months and the lump comes back, but in a different spot, and I immediately think that I've got cancer again. I made an appointment to see a doctor the following day and stupidly went home and googled everything that I could find, which meant that by the time I went to the doctor I was a nervous wreck over this tiny pea-sized lump that turned out to be fucking nothing. It was a cyst, that was it. I had worked myself up so much thinking that I had cancer, and to some extent panicking about the fact that I had to half undress in front of a doctor, even with everyone else reminding me that they're a doctor, they've seen hundreds of vajayjays. I still panicked about having to undress in front of a doctor, which just made the whole thing more traumatic, and I freaked out, and in the end I felt utterly stupid that a tiny little lump had been nothing and I had panicked so much. So if you do find something unusual on your body, even though it's unusual to you, it's common for people to find things that worry them about their health. It's common for people to find lumps, and they're actually usually cysts. By being open about what I went through, I want to encourage you to get to know your own body. Look yourself over and find what's normal for you. If you know what's normal for you in the first place, that makes it that much easier to spot something that's not. Learn how to spot something typically unusual. There are plenty of resources on the internet to find out how to check your body for things that are slightly worrying. For example, there are guides on checking common areas for lumps to appear, like breasts, genital areas, guides on how to check your skin for anything that changes. Go and make yourself aware of what you should be looking for, how you should be checking, because the more you know, make checking yourself a habit. If you make checking your body a habit, it becomes natural and normal, and it's just going to be that much easier to spot anything if you're doing it often. If you make checking yourself in the shower a habit, that's even better because you're naked and you're alone, unless you're up to something sexy. So you've already got the setup there to give yourself a once-over. Don't worry if you do find something that's slightly unusual. Don't Google it for sure. I went from assuming I had cervical cancer to thinking, oh my god, I'm gonna lose all sexual function after I have reconstructive surgery from vulval cancer. And on the one hand, I do now have a larger knowledge about the different kinds of cancer that you can get, but on the other hand, I fucking scared myself to death. So just stay off Google. Google's not a doctor. Don't go to it with your medical problems. But if you are worrying about something that you found, confide in someone. It felt so much better just to tell my girlfriend. And then when I told my mum as well, she was very supportive and just said, see a doctor, it's gonna be nothing. And when I broke down crying in school the second time the lump came back, and I had to confess to a friend why I was crying, she said, it's gonna be nothing. And just having other people's positivity around you when you're worrying about something just makes things that little bit better. And you always have someone to go with you when you have something checked out, if you confide in them. And last, see a doctor if you find something unusual. Doctors are used to solving medical problems all the time, so don't ever feel like what you're going to the doctor for is stupid. Don't ever feel like your problem is too small to see a doctor about, because that's what they're there for, to help you when you need it. The quicker you go and see a doctor, the quicker they can reassure you that what you found is nothing, or treat you if it is something. So as a quick recap, 1. Get to know your own body. 2. Familiarise yourself with how to check your body. 3. Make checking a habit. 4. Don't worry about anything unusual. And 5. Always see a doctor. Give me an ego boost, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.